Oh, right.
And then
you meant
no, that's fine. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, feather it off. That was good though, really good for a first one, mate. Yeah, usually everyone has a habit of trying to transition too early and then they flick it back, and we haven't made enough distance like that way, and then they transition, like they'll get to like here and be like, I want to transition, and then they just crash into those tyres. Right, what we'll do, second gear, as you know what you're doing, clearly, ish. Right, so with this one, just come in slow to this one, because if you come in too fast, it just fucking spins out and you know what it's doing. It's slippy there, and usually you can initiate and then come off of, like, obviously let the wheel go and slide most of the way through the corner and then get back on the power. You've got to lift quite a lot for that corner.
He's got a lot there.
Welded diff, yeah. Well, at least you know what you're doing, roughly. It's going to make my life a lot easier. Rather than, like, just spinning out. Yeah, that's fine. Same again, you just got to keep drifting round to the left for longer before you try and transition, just to make sure you make up the distance to give yourself the space. Yeah, go for it, just power on now into second, you should be able to. Little turn left. Still nice and long. Yeah, so same again there, like a little bit too manic with the steering. Yeah, so for these long ones, we want to get these long ones. You've got to drift at quite a shallow angle with quite a lot of power. So we'll drift, I'll do an explanation in a minute, but yeah, go for it. So a little bit, yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, you just spin us around.
It feels so weird in a welded diff because it must have just fucking.
Yeah, I mean it's quite like, it's very predictable compared to the open diffs. Yeah, you do a little bit around here. Transition back the other way, and you haven't made, like, to go from like here to here, you want to be drifting like really shallow and really long, so you use quite a lot of power because you're quite close to like being centered and gripped. You need to use more power. If you're like on full lock, you're just feathering it because you've got barely any grip. You've got so much grip that you're just off angle, so you use quite a lot of power for like a long shallow drift to make the distance up, and then really gently from one side to the other. So a bit of power on that. Yeah. Carry quite a shallow angle and try and really like push the drift like long and try and go far with it. Yeah. If you slam too much angle, you'll just be like at loads of lock, but you'll be miles away from where you need to transition, and then you'll have to straighten, and then you won't actually be able to make the track work. Yeah. to leave it a like a split second longer.
Yep, I'm with you.
Also turn it in, let the power on off. Again, like just going back off. Oh yeah.
I was off that the whole way.
I just didn't know whether the boss did have a radio or something, so try and be helpful where I'm down here.
So a little time to left, not too shake. So stay on the power, shallow. Yeah. Nice, that's better. So now time, just shallower and just keep it going longer.
Yep.
So a little turn in, bit of power on. Power, left to left. There's a really big hole there.
That's better.
Yeah, do you see how where I was saying left?
Yeah.
Sometimes you've got to, like, when you're in the drift, you've got to do those little adjustments. So a little bit left, a bit of power. You don't need to, like, crank loads of steering left. It's literally like from here, just a little bit of left and a bit of power, and it will just tighten your line up.
Yep.
It will just tighten your line up a little bit more and keep you out of the field.
It's a lot to think about at once.
It
You've
is.
got to do it.
It is,
You've got to do it quickly, haven't you?
Right, so remember on and then almost straight off here, so power on. And then on and left, yeah, further, and then right down, little power, little bit on, perfect, off.
Nearly.
Just on a
Nearly.
little bit too long, yeah. That was good though,
Not quite. That's good.
much better. Yeah, just carrying a little bit too much power through the transitions.
Yep.
Your steering in the transitions is really good. Like, you're really slow from one side to the other, which is spot on.
Yeah.
Usually people are like, I'm on this line, I want to be on that line, and just like snatch it really hard.
I'm still trying to use
So
too much.
really gentle, like on the steering, spot on. But yeah, just feather it a little bit more, like just a little bit too high in the power, so spitting us out the other way. A little turn in, bit of power. All that with power in it, even. So more power, and then up, just gotta try and stay. That's alright. Yeah, you just gotta try and stay into the wet bit, or like if you're in the driver's seat. It's kind of hard. You want to be in the wet bit really, because when you get in the patchy bits, it gets really inconsistent. You do it a little wet. Yeah, go for it. So a bit of power up, then off, a little bit too much. Yeah, that's a little bit too much power on the initiation, but yeah, that's fine. So yeah, straight second, turn it in, power up. Yeah, and then feather it gentle, turn around, right, yeah. Right, and then gently round to the left. So just there, just before it straight in.
There we go.
Panic with the hands, but that was a lot better.
Yeah.
That was a lot of like.
Yeah, that's my hands want to stop doing this.
Yeah, you're like, it's like a hot potato. Yeah, you can see how like when we're coming around here, can you feel how like the roundabout's like here and we're like coming out and the line kind of carries on here, but we're almost drifting like really wide, which is why I keep saying right, which just like a little bit of right, little bit of power, just tighten us up and bring us on the right line.
Okay,
And then again, there's like this wall of tyres here, and we've just got to make sure that we keep going right long enough that when we transition, we then,
And then get round
them.
them. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Everyone tends to just go, I want to transition, and we just go straight into the tyres.
Yeah. You got to go further round
than you think. Yeah.
If you're just driving normally, you just
Yeah. The other thing is, as you transition, I know there's so much information. I'm sorry.
So good. So good.
As you transition, when you're on one side, and then remember just before it comes through, a little blip to kick you through, and then let off a little bit.
Yep.
It's not so much an issue with the long ones. You can kind of stay on the power a little bit more with the long ones because you're so close to the middle. If you let off for too long when you're only at a little angle, it will just grip up. When you're at a big angle, so like here, we're on a big angle, we're flicking into another big angle, you've really got to let off as like blip it through, but then let off as it comes through, or you just spin out. So power on. Yeah, and then keep going left, and then right, little blip, and then let off. Yeah, off.
After you, mate.
Yeah, because there we were like on full lock, and you're obviously like wanting to go long with it, so you planted loads of power, but we had like no more steering left. You've kind of like, if you want to go long, you've got to shallow the angle a little bit, so that you're like almost pushing longer. Handbrake shit, that does nothing. It's not even connected. Cool. Yeah, that one, you just like spot on with the left to tighten the line up. You just got to let off a little bit as we slid through, and you would have been absolutely fine. Enjoying it?
Yeah, it's great.
That's the main thing.
I'm doing better than I thought I was going to do.
Yeah, no, honestly, when you came out and just initiated, just like pretty much had the roundabout straight away, I was like, okay, sick. Yeah, go for it.
Imagine spinning out.
Huh?
Imagine spinning out on that round.
So start turning it in, and a little blip of power, and then off, and then left and on. Like you go left, you go left, you go left, you go left, and then little blip, a little bit more off. We like didn't quite have the like nice push through. We kind of got stuck, and then we like forced it again, and then as it went, we kind of just had too much momentum the second time. Yeah, you're fine. Little turn left, put it back on. Too much angle. Too much angle. And then on again. Good. Do you feel there? If you'd stayed on the power then, you would have spun out. So you just like, then you got to know when to let off and then get ready to get back on the time you're going. It's going to be wet. We'll see if we get it wet now. So it's going to be consistent. Yeah, just pull up in front of Jojo. I'm hoping she's like getting a Bowser ready. You just stop here a minute. Are you working on a Bowser, my love? Hello? Are you working on a Bowser?
I'm done now. So
Oh, okay.
Yes, I can work on that.
No, I'll do it. I just didn't know if it's full or am I filling or what?
No, what many have I done?
Oh, that would be amazing.
I would love to do that. Anyway, it's been a pleasure. Stay in touch. I'm sorry that the last lap's not the best lap, but it's hard. I was drifting. If I did a video before lunch, or an after lunch, it would have been like hero with hero status. But yeah, give me a shout and we'll have a chat. See you soon. Take care. Cheers, mate. And appreciate your patience too. Bring the whole fam along next time.
What? Huh? Right, you pull up behind them. We'll carry on. Jojo's going to have a Bowser out in a minute for us, so nice and little winter
I
again.
must have to do it quite often when it's warm like this.
Yeah, when it's like middle of summer, it's a nightmare. We usually run out of water in the middle of the day, and you're like, oh, we're in trouble.
I went to Goodwood a couple of years ago, and they do that Jag F-type drifting.
Oh yeah, at the Festival of Speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy who was in it said that he was having a bit of a moan to be honest, because he was like, these cars are not built for this shit, especially not in the middle of summer and the tarmac's dry as hell.
Yeah. What do you drive normally then?
I've got a Z4 Coupe. I used to have a Mustang,
Oh, wowzers.
but guess what I did with it?
You hit a pedestrian.
I didn't hit anyone. To be fair, I didn't hit anyone.
Did you hit a tree?
I didn't hit a tree, no. I just hit a ditch.
Oh. I might put my seatbelt on now.
Yeah, the thing about the first, I did it twice. The first time I did it, it was me just mucking about.
Yeah, power left, keep it going, keep it going, keep it left, and then round to the right, and then let off, stay off, and then so close. If we're like
It
that,
went on like half a second before you said
yeah,
on.
you can stay off for a long time. Like when you're full lock and sliding, a lot of the times, like if we're on like full lock and we're sliding, we're about to spin out. If you just push the clutch down, yeah, stay on the clutch, stay on the clutch. You just wait here a minute.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, a lot of if you're in like full lock and we're sliding and it's like, are we going to spin out? Are we not going to spin out? If you just push the clutch down, sometimes, not all the time, but when you take the drive away from the rear wheels, yeah, go for it. It will then give you enough grip sometimes that it will just let you like clutch it again. Yeah, power enough. Yeah, nice. Yeah, just wait till you get some more water down this a little bit.
Went to what, sorry?
Why don't you chuck some more water down on me? It'll be nicer and straight. Go for it again. You can actually dry drift this whole track in an MX5, but it's gnarly.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
can imagine.
fast.
I suppose you have to have the speed to.
Yeah, you kind of work off just flicking it rather than using the power of the car to drift. You use the momentum that you've got.
Yeah, I suppose you've got to really give it some to get it going as well.
Yeah, you got to really abuse them to. Come on, Giorgio.
So slow.
What?
Filling up so slow.
Why? Yeah. It's going well.
3/4.
On the drift racket.
I have that problem in the Z4 as well.
I have it in my drift car where I'm like, oh.
No, I have none in the Z4.
Yeah, I've got an E30 as well. That's my drift car, and that's full of scaffolding as well. It's like fully caged, like fully bucketed up, and you're like, yep, nice.
Yeah, the Z4's got those horrible old like pop-out ones, one on either side.
Yeah.
But they were an optional extra. Mine doesn't have, so I have no cup holders.
Yeah. Come on. She's gone. on, and then you flick the generator on, and then it starts spraying everywhere.
Oh, but she's got to do it herself now.
Yeah. She was too hasty.
Oh, I see. She's about 30 seconds too late.
Yeah. Right, yeah, if you pull up to the green flags.
It's going to go really soon.
Yep. Just wait here, just let her get ahead of it.
Gonna get wet.
Yep. Not too bad. I've fully soaked people before. They had the roof off, and we came right up here and just drenched both of them. Apparently the customer was not stoked, but I thought it was funny. Right, go for it. It's going to be slippery. Look at that. Yeah, keep going left, keep going left, keep going left, keep going left, keep going left. Round to the right. Little bit off. Yeah, further gentle, gentle. Right. Off. And then right. Keep going right, keep going right, keep going right, keep going right. Stand fast, stand fast. Keep going that way, then round to the left, little bit. Oh, there. If you had a little flick of it, you could have kicked it out. That's right. Stay on it, stay on it. Yeah, a little bit too much power.
Oh.
We were like sat at like 7 and a bit thousand RPM, like limby bashing. Which is why when it came back, it was like you basically your wheel speed is so much faster than your driving speed. Yeah, you kind of you want to be running your wheel speed at, like on the straight, obviously a little bit faster than your actual like car speed. But like there, you were like fully limby bashed in second.
Yeah, it was a bit of weather on.
Yeah, you just like just got to feather it a little bit more. Because like the more if you're flat out, like you can if you're flat out on the straight, like your wheel speed, if you watch your speedo, was at like 60 mile an hour, and obviously we're going like
I've not been looking at that.
yeah, you don't need to. It was only I was just looking at it.
Yeah.
But obviously, if your rear wheel's doing like 60 and we're doing like 30, it's like
You
driving on
suddenly grip
ice.
up, yeah.
It's not even that you'll grip up. It's like the opposite. You're basically driving on ice.
Yeah.
So instead of when you like transition, it's like nice and like smooth. Like it makes it really snappy. So like as it comes back, it just wants to like spin round on you because your wheels are going so much faster than you that it just wants to like spin you in a circle. Go for it. So a bit of power on. And left and on, keep going, yeah. Feather it, and then flick it through, and then off, away, off, and then gentle, right, gentle off. Oh. A little bit too heavy footed, yeah. That was good though. Yeah, keep going that way, keep going that way. little bit like too much of everything, yeah.
Yep.
Where we flick too much angle straight away. That's why I was saying let off to try and let the car straighten a little bit and then get back on it. But then we ended up doing like too many transitions. So. Right, so a little bit tighter. A little bit power. Yeah, at that point, like when we're sliding, if you just clutch, don't brake as well, like just clutch,
Yep.
it will sometimes straighten us out enough to then carry it up.
Oh, okay.
If you touch the brakes, because it obviously brakes the front end, it just like spins you on
Yeah.
the spot. So that's quite
Shifts the weight
common.
forward.
Yeah, it's quite a common way that we end up spinning out when we're sliding. Yeah, kind of bring it back across. Like that top corner, where I threw it into that top corner and like lost it,
Yep.
was I threw it in, and because I was in third gear going so fast, I'll be like left foot braking on the way in, and if you get too hard on the left foot brake, it throws all the way forward and you just spin out, which is what I did up there. So a bit of power on. Yeah, left, feather it, gentle, left, left, feather out to right, and little blip, little bit tiny, feather out to right, steer right more, gentle, off and on. That was better. Yeah, so keep it going long, and gentle bit to left, a little flip, and then off it. Again, just like too much wheel speed and too much power through the transition.
Yeah. It's not like that, is it?
No, you gotta kind of give us. Less power. Again, a little bit too heavy footed again.
Any minute now, just wait 15 seconds. Just depending on what people drive. Hopefully within the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes maximum on home.
Can we let that go past just in case?
No, it's fine. So start turning in, yeah. Don't crash into it, whatever you do. So nice and tight, a little bit of power on. Yeah, and then left, and feather it really gentle. Left a bit more, and then feather it, yeah, and then long. Less wheel speed, and round to right, really gentle. That was better. Yeah, that was a lot better. Can you see how as you were coming out and that's the straight, you were like, yeah, like power, like we were at like 7k again, yeah. And at that point, when I said less wheel speed, you kind of went a little bit the other way and just dropped it completely. So it's just finding that like balance point where it's at like about 5k-ish, where you're just like one, like keeping it going. Flip it on, and left a bit more, feather, to the right, little flip of the power, off, really off. Yeah, where we missed the transition point, could you feel it again, how we were on this side, and then when we went to transition through, we missed the blip of power on, so we didn't instead of kind of rotating around the front wheels, the whole car slid.
Yeah.
Can you feel how it wasn't just the rear wheel side, it was just the whole car. So just flip and keep it going long, gently around that way, off. 360. Bonus points. You got to be even lighter footed in the BMs. And like you can pretty much be off the power and just sliding in those.
Got more momentum.
Little lifter, yeah, 'cause it's so heavy. A little bit just straightened us out completely, and then it was like, oh fuck. Right, if you turn it off, leave that in gear.
Keys up here, yeah?
Yeah.